Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... there, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
John!
What?
Red 7!
I don't know what Red 7 means.
Hot route!
I don't. What is hot route?
Will you just go stand on the other side, please?
Down! Come on. Ready, down, set, hut, 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 hut!
Hit me! Booyah! That's what we call a sacked lunch. Nom, 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 nom.
It's time for the Soonerscoop.com postgame show presented by Eskridge Lexus in Oklahoma City. Eskridge Lexus is the official travel partner of Soonerscoop.com podcasts. Now, here's your road crew, Carey, Eddie, and Bob, wrapping up all the action and reaction from this week's game.
All right, welcome back. It is the Eskridge Lexus postgame podcast show. It is another OU win as they beat Missouri today 17-6 in a, I don't know, probably not the most rewatchable game, guys, in the world. It was a rock fight out there. It wasn't pretty, but the Sooners' defense was pretty if you love defense. The offense had its moments before the first half. And I know everyone's going to come away with an opinion about what they saw offensively, but first and foremost, we knew it coming in, but you saw it out there. Missouri has a hell of a defense.
Yeah, they're really good. And I would just start here. And George and I were talking about this on the walk back from the stadium today. Never apologize for winning in this conference and finding ways to win. I think that's the most important thing out of the last 3 weeks is Oklahoma has not played very well offensively. That's obvious. They played extremely well defensively, but they're finding ways to win. And how many times did we come in here in the first, 3-something years, and especially after the Ole Miss game, is like they can't find ways to win in close games. And I think that they're starting to do that. And just talking to some of the players after the game, I think that they're starting to believe that they can win those types of games. So it's a positive and just overall dominant performance today.
The hard to kill was started, and that was kind of the mantra of the locker room. Today, Brent Venables used the word grimy a lot to describe his team.
There is nobody in Cleveland County and maybe America that is more pleased with the way that they are winning football games and with like the character of the way that they're winning these games than Brent Venables. Not to say that he doesn't want this offense to be better, but it's been kind of a pleasure right here with the way that they've been able to find ways, and all of a sudden they're 7 days, 6 days, something like that by the time that you're listening out there from winning a football game over LSU and getting into the college football playoff, which is kind of incredible when you really take a step back and remember where this shit was.
And here's the thing. I mean, this team is 9-2. Don't overlook that.
Crazy in
Don't
and of
overlook
itself.
that. It's not. They're 9-2 in a season that they lost their starting quarterback for a game, and he had miracle hand surgery. By the way, Dr. Shin on hand today.
In the cut today.
Amazing.
He flashed some horns down on his to
That's
the
a
crowd.
great video.
He must not have had any UT patients lined up.
And I think he's coming to clear J-Dub. I think that's why he's in town.
Ooh, that's interesting. Anyway, J-Dub for the Thunder is one of his clients as well.
Who John Mateer does not know who that is, which I thought was kind of
really?
funny.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an NBA guy.
I guess that would make sense. He's more of a baseball
And he's
football guy.
a Dallas guy, so
Yeah.
not to say that he's keeping up with Oklahoma City.
If it's not Luka, he probably doesn't know who they are. And we did have a visitor. Yes, was it yesterday that came in from Dallas talking some NBA? That was an interesting discussion. They're very high on the Thunder and they're very sad about the Mavs. But anyway, totally. But 9-2, George. I mean, SEC schedule. We said it before. It's one of the toughest schedules in the country. You've got you're 11 games into this thing. You got one game left. It looks like I would say on paper, it looks like a much more winnable game than even today's game against Missouri was. But 9-2, I mean, we have to acknowledge that. Like, whatever you think of the offense, whatever you think of the receiving core, the weapons, the running back room, the coaching, they're 9-2 in the SEC in their second year. It's phenomenal.
And I'm working on my 10 Things I Think I Know after the game that you can check out on Soonerscoop.com. It's one of my favorite things I do. And one of them I wrote is that I think Brent Venables should be in the discussion for SEC Coach of the Year. And I'm not saying he should win. It should probably go to Mike Elko if they go undefeated in what they've done at Texas A&M. But considering where this thing was a year ago and the conversations that were being had about Brent Venables and this coaching staff and everything that went into that, to be sitting here with a chance to go 10-2, make the playoff, and potentially host a playoff game. I'm sure there's people out there that's like, oh, I thought they were going to win, 10 games and go 10-2. There was not many of those people out there that that really truly believed that. And to be sitting here with the chance to do that and the way they've done it, like I think that, like obviously we'll get to the offense. It's bad. It's not good. But like they have figured out their strengths, they're leaning into them, and they're finding ways to win football games in the most important stretch of the year. And it's honestly just kind of remarkable to watch. Like there was never, yes, there's points in the game today that I was like, oh, you could blow this, and because the offense couldn't put it away. But like I just kept thinking, well, the defense isn't going to let them score. Like, and it's crazy. And it was
shocking when they had that little spurt before halftime because you're like, what? I thought OU's defense had this under control. What the hell just happened?
And it's just crazy. And we've talked about this a lot at nauseum this year, but it's just crazy. Like how many different guys, like it's not like just the same guys. Like last year,
they blocked a punt today,
it was Danny Stutzman and Billy Bowman, R. Mason Thomas. Like it was those three guys that primarily were making
the defense.
That made the plays, right? Today you look up and it's Owen Heineke, it's Kip Lewis, it's
Reggie Powers
Taylor
gets
Wine,
kicked out of
Reggie
the game.
Powers,
you don't notice
like,
a drop off.
Eli Bowen, Jacoby Johnson, who hasn't really done much of anything this year. He comes up with a huge play today. You've got Omarion Robinson playing as a true freshman at safety. Michael Boganowski comes up on the
huge
third and
play
goal.
On Hardy.
Yeah,
that was such a good play.
There's guys everywhere on this defense, and it's remarkable. It's truly incredible, and a credit to Brent Venables for sticking to his vision, his belief in this thing, the players for continuing to believe and buy into what they were trying to sell them. And now it's honestly, guys, to me, it's up to the offense on figuring it out to see how far this thing can go this year, because OU has a championship defense. There's no doubt in my mind. I think it's maybe the best defense in the country with the way that they're playing right now. And they don't even have their best player in R. Mason Thomas.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, and like I said, we'll get into the offense, but to me, it's ultimately going to fall on them. They're going to go as far as the offense can figure it out.
Yeah, and they were great up front again today. They held Ahmad Hardy to 57 yards total rushing.
Crazy.
Only the third time this season he's been held under 100 yards.
I was thinking about this in the fourth quarter as the game was kind of winding down. It was over. OU was, I think, basically taking knees out and thinking about what we were going to talk about on the instant reaction and just using examples. Like, what are some great examples that you can use for just like how elite, how great this defense has been? And I think that, like, you look at the last 3 weeks and as bad as the offense played, that's certainly a good example. Like getting 200 yards of total offense and still finding ways to win against Tennessee, Alabama, and Missouri, all top 25 wins. That's a great example. But what they did today against Ahmad Hardy is maybe one of the better defensive performances that I know I'm caught up in the moment, but I can remember from an OU defense just a really solid. Like I always
You're
think
make
back.
Me so old here.
I always think back to like the Seneca Wallace.
That's
thing.
exactly what I was thinking about.
When he came in and he
as
was
a
like
Heisman front runner,
and OU just stomped the shit out of him
all over that candidacy.
Hardy, I told George after the game, that kid is going to be so good in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think he's going to like fall to one of those teams like at the end of I don't know about the first round, but he's going to fall to a really good team. It just feels like
he's going to be like the Jalen Warren kid that was at Oklahoma State. Playing
that's
well now.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
With Pittsburgh. But to hold him 17 carries, 57 net yards, pretty incredible.
They had 0 yards rushing in the second half.
On 7 carries, right?
Yeah.
It was 7.
That's insane.
I want to know, like, how many did he have in the first quarter? Because
he had 21 on the first drive.
Okay. So they held him to 30 yards the rest of the game, basically.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And, we talked about him in the instant reaction, but I thought that guys like Grayson Halton, Dominic Williams, PJ, Taylor Wine.
PJ maybe played his best game of the season.
Here's the crazy, like, this is how crazy it was for OU's defense today. They brought back a quarterback who had been out for not even a month.
A month.
Just about a
month. And he had to throw the ball 36 times.
I did not realize they threw the ball 36 times.
He looked like Pribula. Credit to him, man.
Oh, yeah.
Go out there and play. And
Conspiracy corner. I don't think that was a dislocated ankle.
I don't know. They must have shot him up because he moved. He was moving so
really well.
I was like, are you kidding me?
After the first series, I think everybody, like when they got to midfield in that first series and they're just kind of banging 4-yard plays at a time, I was like, oh boy, it's going to be a long day.
Oh, and then of course OU comes out and they go 3 and out on back-to-back possessions.
Oh God, well, let's save that. I just wanted to look at tackles for losses today because
they only had 8, which I thought was a little bit surprising. Hardy's
they had a lot
really
right
tough.
at the they had so many at the line of scrimmage or 1 or 2 yards only.
I use Shipped same-day delivery to stay connected with my sister during the holidays. She lives across the country. Shipped has tons of stores to order from. Groceries from Albertsons, crafts from Michael's, even pet supplies from PetSmart. The list goes on. So when we have long-distance movie nights, I turn to Shipped to get face masks, snacks, and everything else we need delivered to her and to me same day. Download the app or visit Shipped.com. That's SHIPT.com.
Getting ready to step into your career era? Set yourself apart with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Hone your skills with apps like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and more, powered with the latest in creative AI. Students save over 55% so you can build a portfolio you're proud of. Launch your future with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Visit adobe.com/students to learn more.
And for Missouri, when it was 2nd and 8, they were done for. They could not. It was over because they could not convert anything past 3rd and 3. Basically,
they were 0-10 at one point consecutively on 3rd down.
Ended up being 12 consecutive.
Was it 12?
I think to end the
one
game.
was a penalty that they got a first down on.
3 for 15 on 3rd down.
I think they were 3 for 3 to start, and then they went 12 consecutive without converting.
And look, you want to talk about grimy or finding ways to win? Like OU was actually really good early on 3rd down. Like I think they had completed 4 in a row or something.
Yeah.
When they're in the midst of that 14-point, barrage, I guess if you want to call it that, for this game. But look, offensively they did some good things early.
No, they didn't. They had -7 yards in the first quarter.
I'm saying they had 14 points in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Like
it felt like they had kind of figured some stuff out.
3 and out and then 3 and out. That was shit.
Yeah,
you were
bad.
just like,
First
what the hell?
The fact that they were
They
up,
didn't have the ball either. I mean, that was
they really had
They
had one good quarter and then one good drive. The drive to start the second half was not bad.
I would say they had one good play. An 87-yarder.
Well, the drive after the short punt.
It was.
And the touchdown to Giovanni Gibson was
you're
a
right,
good
Ed.
play.
It was bad. I don't want to sound like I'm giving them excuse. It was
unbelievable.
But here's
stat.
the thing: that touchdown to Giovanni Gibson, that was one of those situations. Like, look, if you want to win this game, you need to score a touchdown here, and they did.
Yeah.
Tate Sandell only kicked 1 field goal today.
Nailed it.
His OU streak is now 23.
And that was the thing for me. Are we getting into the offense here? Because I was going to say in the fourth quarter, it's like they didn't even need touchdowns. If they just added a couple field goals, the game was over.
Yeah,
and they were getting the ball at midfield, and they couldn't do it.
Grayson Miller didn't have a great day kicking.
No, he kept kicking it through the end zone, but then he did have a couple at the end.
He wasn't that bad. He
had a 30-yard punt.
I mean, Brent did say after the game the punting needs to be a lot better.
Sure. But still, I mean, he had he averaged 45 yards a kick. He had a 57-yarder. He had 9 punts. Big sample size. So 4 finished inside the 20. He had 2 touchbacks.
Yeah.
It's not the best, but it's certainly it could be worse.
Well, the problem is in a game like that, George is right. In a game like that, you need your punter to step up. I mean, it was a field position game.
And he flipped it a couple times there in the first quarter when they couldn't move the ball. Yeah. But yes, he's had better games. That's for sure.
And OU, look, we talked all week. They need to push the ball down the field. They need to stretch the passing game. They did, and they did not complete almost any of them.
Overthrew every pass to Deion Burks.
I thought it was very funny, just ironically funny too. That they're in those first couple series. They're trying to create a little vertical game.
Yeah,
and everybody behind us run the football, and it's like all we talked about for the last week was they got to find a way to stretch the field.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I don't think they could run the ball today, not because they weren't able to create holes.
They weren't healthy.
They didn't have anybody at running back. Like Xavier Robinson was playing on one knee today. One knee.
And incredible effort on his part.
You felt like every time Torrey Blaylock came out there, like, well, they're not giving him the ball.
Yeah. No, well, I think he only played 2 or 3 snaps the whole game. It was Xavier Robinson the whole game.
The only time that I saw him out there today was the play after
Robinson
came out,
jogged off.
He was
field.
out there a few times. I mean,
but they were never giving him the football.
Right.
Like, and that's the thing is like they don't have anybody. It's crazy.
Let's just say the Jade Knott thing is over. I mean, I think
it's
we can
been
officially. It's been over, but we can officially.
We brought it back up
declare,
this week. We never should have. It was never going to happen.
If he didn't play today, he's never going to play. No. I mean,
and Taylor Tatum,
maybe they're saving
that's
him
never
going to
happen. I don't
even know if Taylor Tatum was in the building today,
I am interested in what Javonte Barnes would do if they made the playoff, because it wouldn't count against his red shirt.
Sure.
I would not be shocked at all if he said, I'll play in the playoff. But then if you're Oklahoma, you're like, well, why would we play the guy that just sat out for 2 months?
Yeah, I see both sides of that.
I think if he's been a good teammate, I don't know. Is he out there running scout team to help out?
No idea.
I don't know, but I think if they can get Xavier Robinson is their guy. If he can just get healthy, I just don't know like how healthy can he really get in these next few weeks. I have no clue. But it's a problem, and that to me is the biggest problem with the offense right now is they don't have a running back, and then I think Mateer was way too inaccurate on some of the deep stuff. Now I actually thought Mateer made some pretty good decisions. He stayed in the pocket more today, but then he just had some decisions that you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, look, and they pointed it out on the broadcast, like outside of Satania, nobody's getting open. I mean, they don't have
a number one guy.
The guy that we thought, even the guy that we thought Giovanni Gibson would be, which is a deep threat, the guy that was bigger and stronger and could do things one-on-one. And what's crazy is that one-handed catch he had today, like it was a lot closer than anyone thought when it happened.
Yeah.
And even the OU, when they called timeout to do the review, OU was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Here's my take on
Giovanni Gibson's very talented. I mean,
yeah, and I still think he could be a really good player, but they don't have. You're right. They don't have enough playmakers, and that's my take on John Mateer is like, I think Mateer is a great competitor. I think he means a lot as a leader. I think he's a really good runner. They ran him a lot today.
Yeah,
he is not a quarterback that you can be like, we're just gonna have you do everything. Like and right now, that's the offense. The offense is basically, we need John Mateer to make every play, and he's just not that guy. Maybe he will be eventually.
What they did with Jackson Arnold at the end of last year.
But the problem with Arnold was he threw interceptions,
right?
And he never really showed any sort of actual progression,
right?
And I do think and maybe I'm crazy.
I'm just saying from the usage standpoint.
Yeah, I just think that Mateer looked a lot more. He looked like he actually was stepping up in the pocket today and reading the defenses a little bit more. Again, he didn't make all the best decisions, but
he was definitely going through his progressions more today.
Yeah. I think that right now they got to get better guys around him too. It's not all Mateer.
I mean, here's the thing. I was thinking about that today during the game. Like, how many teams can have an offense that were historically bad like they did last year and bring in, expect to have a lot of talent just waiting in the wings?
Yeah.
Or the portal guys, Isaiah Satane is the best portal, addition that they've had offensively maybe since the portal opened. I mean, outside of quarterback. Can you think of a better skilled position?
No, just
wide receiver
in general.
Running back,
Eric Gray.
tight end.
Eric Gray.
Was he a portal guy?
He was more of a traditional transfer.
Just traditional transfer.
Justin Brown, Penn State.
Well, that's
not
transfer.
that's traditional.
Talking
portal. Transfer portal.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I also, the other thing I would say too is it feels like Arbuckle struggles to let the offense get in a rhythm sometimes. And again, I don't know how much some of this is Mateer maybe changing plays or he's reading the RPOs wrong, but it felt like there was times where, okay, they're running the football well, and then they would just throw 3 straight passes and punt. And it's like, well, let your team get in a rhythm.
Well, a lot of times what I notice is it's just like in that second quarter, they did get into a rhythm, and it was because they had a lot of short passes. They were going fast, and they just got in a flow. a lot of times, like when you're throwing, and like we said, they're trying to stretch the field. They're trying to go deep. But when you go first down and you throw a 40-yard pass to Deion Burks and it's overthrown, like then everybody's got to get back to the line of scrimmage, and then the next play might be like something to Canick and go for 4 or 5 yards. But like just the like you're right, the rhythm has not been established, and there's not a tone and a pace to this offense.
I also might be out on Deion Burks.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
He's just a guy. And, I thought that Mateer had him over the middle one time, and he threw it behind him.
Yeah.
It almost was an
got
incredible
killed.
play.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of there. He's not...
And he's not like having like breakaway, like he's getting wide open down the field.
No, not at all. Not at all. The whole offense is they're trying. Like it's just a trying progress.
The way you said that,
they're trying.
It's like a mom.
They're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying.
Look, and that's
just
the
not
thing.
very
It's like,
good.
it's not very good. They got to get like I really think like Xavier getting hurt really messed with stuff, because it felt like after the Tennessee game, it's like, okay, you can live with this. Like if you can get 100 yards from Xavier Robinson every
Don't
week,
get me going down a dark path again.
Because
it's one guy. It's just like,
I know.
How did we get here? Well, it's just one. I don't.
Because I think the offensive line's getting better. Derek Simmons came in today. He replaced Ryan Foje.
That was good to see. Just him out there.
I thought they played fine. They gave up a couple sacks. Now a couple of those were on Mateer because he didn't get rid of the ball he scrambled into the sack. But I don't know. The offense is not very good. I think they can get by with it next week against LSU, but then they have 3 weeks if they win. 3 weeks till the playoff game, and you better figure something out in those 3 weeks, or else you're not going to win in the playoff with this offense. I just don't think you are.
Somebody's going to score more points than you.
Yes,
even with this defense, with this offense.
And again, I just don't think it's sustainable. The defense got 2 turnovers today. That was great, but there's going to come a game where maybe they don't get a turnover.
And I want to sit here and say, look, they played one of the best defenses in the country.
And they did.
But at the same time, all the same problems come up. There's the lack of playmakers at receiver, the lack of depth at running back, or available bodies, if you will. It's it is what it is. I think we have to admit that this offense is just kind of what it is. And I know we did the Around the Corner Friday, and there were a lot of Mateer questions about would he be back? Would you want him back? Do you go somewhere else? I do think that Brent, I was getting a lot of text messages from people today during the game, like, I do think Brent will stick with Arbuckle, and if Mateer wants to come back, he'll be back.
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think I get it. I get why people would say, "Wow, they need to go after somebody in the transfer portal." I don't know who that is.
I don't think that better skill talent. I mean, you're gonna have to go out and pay for skill talent, like pay top dollar for some receivers. You're gonna need a running back.
Well, no matter who's the quarterback, you need to do that.
Yeah, But at least with Mateer, you can build, something. I mean, I think there's enough there with Arbuckle. And look, Arbuckle's not perfect, but I think he's what you need right now from where this program is.
I do think they need to maybe make a couple changes at position coaches, though, potentially.
I don't think any of us have changed our minds there, really.
No.
But then you look in the 2027 recruiting classes.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kann du Norsk?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
They are recruiting their ass off. But, I mean, how much is that front office and how much is that,
the
staff? I think that the offense has a long ways to go. I wrote about it this week. They've made some small steps from where they were a year ago statistically. They're not turning the ball over, which is honestly the biggest difference. If they keep doing that, they're going to have a shot in these games. But they need Mateer to play better. They need Arbuckle to call games better, honestly. Like, I think that there's just some times where you're like, what's the plan?
What was that series?
Yeah. I know a lot of people are griping about the They had the 3rd and 2 at midfield, and that was it was the play after Xavier Robinson got hurt, and they ended up taking a shot to Satania, and everybody's like, why didn't you just run the ball? Well, Mateer did throw a great ball. Like, Satania's got to catch that. I mean, he's open, and it hits him right in the hands.
Yeah.
So, but I also understand, hey, if you just run a QB power there, you probably get the first down and you keep your drive alive. That's the biggest problem. They can't sustain drives. And I don't know what the answer is to fix that other than just
having more executable plays.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Can I say this? I thought the 3 young freshmen, again, played pretty well up front. Like, I think that they have a good nucleus up front.
Well, Foje kind of got benched.
That's true. True.
Yes.
But they have a good group of guys that are coming back next year. I think with a dominant offensive line, you will be able to run the ball a little bit easier, obviously. It makes John's life a little bit easier. It doesn't help you, though, over the next couple of weeks. I think the most important thing for them is to get out of the LSU game next week healthy, and then you have a month, and you should have somebody like a Xavier Robinson basically somewhat back to full health by the start of the playoffs, and you try to get better over that month. Like, that's your only kind of option right now.
Path to getting better.
Yeah, because I think that, like, it's going to ultimately, when they lose a game, it's going to be most likely because of the offense. That's going to be hard to swallow to a certain extent. But I thought Bud Elliott had a great tweet today. Defensively, you can beat anybody in the country. Offensively, you can lose to just about anybody in the country. And I don't know. I guess because of the way that OU has been hurt in the playoffs before with poor defense, you at least go into a game, whomever they would be to play, if they can beat LSU next week, and you feel like you have a chance if the offense can just find a couple plays.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't know. Is that kind of like a bitch way to look at it?
It's better. It's a better approach than having one of the greatest offenses in college football history and no defense at all.
Yeah, sure.
Because at least you're in the game and you get a chance. I mean,
and I think the most frustrating thing is like George said, there are little snippets of the game where they get rolling and it looks really, really good. And then you have a hold, or you have kind of a stupid play call, and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 13
or
instead
an inaccurate pass, or whatever.
Right. It's just very, very inconsistent.
They are not an offense that can get behind the sticks. It was like what I was saying with Missouri earlier, where
100%.
2nd and 8, that's a problem. For Oklahoma, that is also a problem. Like, if Oklahoma's got a 2nd and long, they're not going to get the first down.
Unless Mateer does it with his legs.
Yeah, unless Mateer makes just a crazy play. And that's the thing, is like with Mateer, it's such a give and take, because there's moments where you're like, gosh, what a gamer, what a run. Like, he had one on a 3rd and long late in the game. That was a big one. And then he had one on the touchdown drive before he threw the touchdown to Giovanni Gibson.
Which I think was another 3rd and long, by the way.
Yeah, it was a huge run. But then he'll have moments where it's like, dude, the guy's wide open. You got to hit him.
Yeah.
And you sailed it,
I just think that from what I've seen of John, now that we've had 11 games, he's a guy that's caught in between being a dual threat quarterback and a guy that needs to have a little bit more poise in the pocket. Because I just think that he is a little hectic when the pocket's not perfectly clean.
For sure. I think that's something he's working through. I mean, he's been pretty open about, like, he said it the last few weeks now. He's like, I have to stop getting out of the pocket so quickly. And
he said that he basically told you today, like, I'm very cognizant of that.
Yeah.
Like, I hate going back and watching the video of getting out of the pocket early.
And it felt like he hung in there.
Up and,
he hung in there a little bit more today. And that's the part where I'm like, okay, like, maybe an off season, like after having a full season in this league, understanding the sort of pressure that you're going to be under, you just, if you're Oklahoma, you just kind of have to hope, like, he'll just get better at that as time goes on.
It's a little bit like, what we saw last week. Like, Ty Simpson, he was getting assaulted the entire game, but there were times when he knew that he had to stand in the pocket and deliver a pass. And, like, that's just not what John Mateer does, or that he's developed in his game. And I'm sure, playing out at Washington State, it was his athleticism was probably a little bit, superior to, other people. But, like, here, like, he doesn't always have those windows. Like, he doesn't have that time. We were watching the BYU Cincinnati game, and BYU had this really long screenplay that was really congested, and the guy ended up coming out. And there were like 4 or 5 Cincinnati people around him on defense. Like, those plays don't happen in the SEC because everybody tackles, everybody runs, and you don't just sneak out, you don't eke out a play that's not well designed or executed as much as you do in other conferences. And I think John Mateer's learning that there's a finer line between execution and, the ability to make plays in this conference, especially against a team like Missouri.
And I just think the Texas game too, and I know that was over a month ago, so it shouldn't still be affecting him, but I do think it kind of changed his psyche a bit, and also the way that they decided to approach games. I think he has been so he's been lacking so much aggression, I feel in his game. But I also think that that's probably a good thing because they're not turning the ball over.
We're just putting John Mateer on a couch right now and just tell us about your mother.
Well, but I think that, Carey, the reason we have to put him on the couch right now is because if this team is going to make a serious run, this team is going to go as far as John Mateer will take them.
Yeah, and I think
that's the ultimate
thing is
that
a lot
fair,
of Oklahoma.
Though?
Yes.
He's the quarterback.
But what I'm saying, is that fair to him? Is it fair to put have that situation and expect this team to make a real run at any kind of a college football
at this
playoff
point? Yeah,
title?
Because I think that they've, out of the 3 sides of the football, they've got it figured out on 2 of them. They've got it figured out, and it's you have a real
championship level defense
and a championship level special teams.
Yeah,
I think.
Sure.
And so that's where it's
the problem is you're going to play in Ohio State to win it all, or Texas A&M, and they're going to be able to score points on your defense.
And I'm not saying I don't think OU should I don't think they're going to win it all, but
No.
I think when this thing comes to an end, the frustrating part for OU fans in Oklahoma will be
that the offense just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, the offense just wasn't good enough.
I do think though when you get into into a playoff or you just get into these one-off games, it will be a little bit different just in terms of the way that an offense works. If that makes does that make any sense? I think that they will have a good enough defense that if you are able to force a couple turnovers in a playoff game, you can win this way.
Can win.
It's just, I think it's unsustainable. I doubt that they will be able to do that.
And I also want to say too, if this team makes the playoff at 10-2, and they end up not, obviously winning the national championship or whatever, or making a serious run, that doesn't take away from how much of a big step this was in the right direction for everybody.
The big picture. And I told you this on the way back. I told you to hold me accountable to this because I think the big picture, when you talk about the recruiting stuff that we've talked about with Josh on the recruiting reports and on the podcast, and as he's reported on the board, big picture wise, I've done a complete 180 now. I think that they can win games like this in to a lesser extent, ugly type of games that I didn't think that they would be able to do if everything wasn't perfect. I think that Brent and Peyton Bowen talked about this a little bit after the game, as did Kobe, I think, on Monday night, just talking about Brent as a head coach. They're saying some things to where he's changed. And for the players to say that, I think is a massive deal around them and some of the things that just the way that he leads the program. It sounds like he has made some look in the mirror self-evaluation that we were kind of waiting for.
Well, and here's what I hope people, and it's my rule is don't tell fans how to be a fan, but I think what you have to realize as fans right now is the things that we're bitching about and that you're bitching about on the message boards, it's such a better situation that you're in. You're not bitching that the program is falling apart anymore. You're bitching that the offense isn't very good and who's to blame and all that. You have to take a step back and realize you're in a good place as an OU fan. The football program is in a good place. The problems are now very micro where they were very macro a year ago.
Yeah. I mean, this time last year we were talking about, do they need to make a complete overhaul to the whole program? This time we're okay, can John Mateer play up to a level to win a national title? Yeah. Think about that conversation, the juxtaposition of that. It's and that's the thing and that's why it's we're not. I don't want to say we're moving the goalposts, right? The goalposts are the same that they were before the season in terms of what garners success this year for Oklahoma, and it looks like they're going to hit that benchmark. But now all of a sudden you're saying, how good can it be?
Yeah.
How special can this season be?
And a lot of the questions that we get are like, do you guys, if they don't do it this year, can they do it? Do you think they're close next year?
And that's the part that it's like, it's kind of exciting to think about because you are going to have a great defense again next year. Heck, it could be better than the group this year, depending on who comes back and
maybe portal DTs,
right?
And stuff
you know,
like
all that stuff. But like, okay, you do bring back your quarterback if you want to. You have a bunch of young offensive linemen. Xavier Robinson will be back next year. Maybe he can finally stay healthy. Like, you have some momentum to build on. You have a 2027 class that could end up being a top 5 class if you continue all this stuff. So there's some real momentum. It's just like this year, though, living in the moment, it feels like OU's on the cusp of being not just a really good team, but a great team. And it's like, can they figure that out in this last week?
Doesn't embarrass you for being in the SEC, and that you can go toe to toe with Alabama and Tennessee on the road. I mean,
100%. When you go back into last year, that was 85% of my frustrations was just everything that you had been told about OU as a program had come true, that they couldn't get to the SEC. They couldn't have any type of success. And I think every OU fan would agree that because of Texas's immediate succse,
it made it worse.
It made it 10 times worse.
Yes.
And I would also say, too, like...
Is that a pick six?
Where?
Haynes King.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he just threw a pick six. Georgia Tech's in trouble.
Just getting their shit pushed in.
I was going to say, to Eddie's point earlier about, like, the Brent Venables and coaching and all of that, like, him changing, this is maybe not the first time in the Brent Venables era, but certainly one of those times where it's like, the coaching staff deserves a ton of credit in the sense that, like, they are really, they know their strengths and they play to them. Like, they're not trying to be something they're not. And I think that is not something you could always say about Brent. Like, I think what he's done this year,
shout out Mr. Cash,
has been pretty impressive from a coaching standpoint.
No, he's done an incredibly good job. And I'd be the first one to admit, there were some moments here, Old Miss game.
Yeah, I was about to
great
say 4 weeks
example.
ago.
I just never thought that they were going to be able to do it. And to get over the hump in the manner that they have with the 3 wins that they've had against all 3 top 25 competition, obviously the 2 wins on the road against, 2 of the better programs just in the Southeastern Conference outright, has been very, very impressive.
And just the way that this team seems to, like, they bounce back, that they don't they embrace the adversity. I feel like in a game, like I feel like they, like, even today, the way that the first quarter went, like the way they responded and came up with some big plays and kind of slammed the door shut there, like, that's just not something that we've seen Oklahoma do recently.
Yeah, and I think you see that early, and it's got to the point with me when they've had a rough start, when it hasn't gone, when Tennessee scores to start the game and like they're driving again, like, I've actually got to the point where I'm like, well, let's see what happens, because I think this team can withstand a little, like this team in particular, they can can withstand a little bit of adversity. Exactly what I was looking for.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the leadership within the team. And even the guys, Peyton, I highly suggest everybody go watch the Peyton Bowen interview after the game on the Sooner Scoop editorial page, because he talked about, they had this meeting the night before the Tennessee game. And I don't know if we've talked about this before, but it was basically a player-led meeting, just like, where do they want this season to go? And he was talking about all the guys that stood up. I asked him, like, who are some of the guys that kind of hosted this meeting? And he said, the usual suspects, the guys that you would think would stand up and talk and something like that. But he said that, like, there's like tiers of leadership within this team, that every guy has some type of responsibility. And I believe that, like, all the way down to guys that aren't even suited out on game days. You think of, now I can't think of his name, Jacob Henry. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't say like he's a leader or anything, but he's invested. Yeah. And I think that, like, when you're trying to win a bigger prize, you have to have everybody kind of pulling on the same rope to a certain extent. And it's just it's a special group in
Shout
what
out
they've
Larry
been able
Cochelle.
to. Yeah, absolutely. They've been able to kind of pull through what could have been a very hellacious month with what I think we thought was going to happen, or what could have happened with some of these road trips. And we were talking about it after the Texas game, like looking at the rest of the schedule, this thing could have gone sideways very easily.
Yeah,
I thought it did for a second.
We need to find, we need to go back and find that pre-Tennessee pod, that unofficial 40, where you and George were going back and forth about.
I think that was the post-game pod.
Old Miss post-game
The
pod.
Old Miss post-game pod,
Yeah.
okay.
It is kind of special, though, because I do think that, like, ultimately for Oklahoma to get back to whatever this is.
And they got to win next week.
No, 100%.
Let's clarify.
Everything that
they
we
got
talk
to win.
about over
Don't
the,
blow it next week.
As I said last week, everything that we're going to talk about over the next 2 weeks comes with the qualifier. You have to take care of your own business.
I feel bad because we've just gotten lost in this podcast, and I haven't mentioned Eskridge Lexus. But Eddie, they took care of you today.
We had a
day.
We had a day, and the Eskridge family took care of us. Woke up this morning, went down to my garage, and had a flat tire. And at 7:30 in the morning with an 11 a.m. kickoff, that's not exactly what you want. Called them up,
Nightmare scenario.
went straight to Eskridge. They got me in a loaner, and it's all ready to go. Like, my car's ready to go. I'll go pick it up on Monday morning. Picked up a tire, I think, in downtown Oklahoma City. A nail.
You just got the tires from them, too. They did a great job getting you new tires. And
couldn't speak more highly about the people over at Eskridge. It was a fantastic experience this morning in what could have been a very, very toxic atmosphere.
Oh, God.
But, yeah.
George, it's a good thing we
Shout
didn't
out.
have Eddie in the office today.
That would not be pretty.
Thank you, Eskridge, for saving George and I's our lives from Eddie having a bad day. By the way, what Eddie's talking about, the service, even the Lexus L certified vehicles, they come with an unlimited mile, full factory warranty with up to 6 years of coverage. And that also, getting an L certified car does get you access to loaner vehicles when your car is in their service department. And it's one of the great service departments. I know Eddie and I have been there. I want to get their coffee maker in the office. Like, I need to find out the company and get the coffee maker in the office. But visit EskridgeLexus.com or call 405-755-9000. That's 405-755-9000. And check EskridgeLexus.com for the most up-to-date inventories. Let you know what's on the lot, and thankfully, lots of cars are on the lot these days, as that wasn't the case just a few years ago. So thanks to Eskridge Lexus for always being our travel partner, official travel partner. And I know they're proud to be it, which is odd for us from time to time. People are proud of us. LSU next week, home game. It was interesting, guys. You mentioned that they did a lot of the awards before the game this year, the year-ending awards, which they don't normally do until the last game.
Really strange. I don't know why exactly they did that, but they did the Derek Strait Award. It was Major Melson and Ben Anderson. I think Ben Anderson's going to have a chance of snapping the NFL. He could be the next James Washington or
James Winchester.
James Winchester from Washington. How about that? And then the Don Key Award. Help me. Fabechi, Kobe.
No. Don Key was Fabechi, Weewoo, and Owen Heineke.
Oh, that's right. And then Bob Kalsu was Kobe,
Dominic Williams, and
Grayson Halton. Thank you.
Dominic Williams with a sack today.
Dominic Williams played well.
George said he thought it was his best game in an OU uniform.
It's up there. He is, when you look back on the season, his stats are not going to jump out at the page. He is so consistently good. Like, people cannot move him. And that is very, very, very valuable.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, again, Tennessee, Alabama, and Missouri, who Carey said it in the opening. I thought, like, I was almost kind of surprised, I guess, in a way, and I guess that's my fault. I was very impressed with Missouri physically. They have some guys up on the defensive line.
Man. Number 4 linebacker.
Pribula was bigger than I thought he was.
He's a big kid.
I kind of thought he was like a little, like, kind of scat guy. But he's not. He definitely is not.
Well, I mean, they're another team. Like, they just, they lost a lot of skill from a year ago. I mean, losing a Luther Burden.
Can we talk about our boy Drink?
Sure. Norman's own.
I thought the kicking the field goal, like this was the biggest part of the game to me. Second quarter, they're driving. It's 3-0, and the little timeout, run the kicker out. Why are they kicking the ball there? 6-0's not going to win this game.
I'm wondering if he just thought, look, they called a timeout. We don't have a better play than what we just lined up for in this situation.
But that was the game. That flipped the entire momentum of the stadium. 3 plays later, they hit the 87-yarder to Satania, and the rest is history. Like, that was the moment of the game to me.
Yeah. And, I mean, I don't know what was going through his head, but their kicking situation has been terrible.
Eli Hoff told us in the game day preview.
Yeah.
So not a lot of faith there. So it was an interesting decision.
Chip shot, though.
Drinkwitz said after the game,
they used their backup long kicker to kick the second field goal.
The one that they made, right?
Yes.
He said that they switched kickers because the first guy who made the first field goal that got also partially blocked was being way too slow. And so then on the one that got blocked, he was like, what the hell are you doing? Mm-hmm. Like, we just told you got to speed up your process, and he didn't, and that's why I got blocked again. And so they went to the other guy the rest of the time. Drinkwitz, for all the OU fans that hate Eli Drinkwitz, go watch his post-game press conference because he is a very depressed, sad man.
I thought he made some really bad decisions today. And
it
credit
like
OU defense. I think a part of that is like OU defensively. They put you in this mentality where you either go super uber aggressive and you have a chance of getting blown out, or you go the other way and you get too conservative, I think.
That's what's been crazy to me about the way Brent's calling games. Like,
is he out coaching guys? Is he out coaching Kalen DeBoer?
I think he is. What Brent is doing is he's putting so much pressure on offense that he never lets up. He drops guys back a lot, but like he's always doing something. Like, and people have talked about that for years about how much stuff Brent has in his defense and how many things that he tries to do to get an offense off, out of kilter. But I mean, he's just been putting on a masterclass the last 3 weeks in that. And I mean,
it's incredible.
And that's probably why for Missouri, probably why it was worth the shot with Pribula. But I'm sure they didn't really know how it would go out. But having a freshman quarterback and OU shutting down Hardy to 57 yards, that game would have been over probably by the start of the fourth quarter.
Sorry, I'm in a little Twitter war with Jeff Ketchum right now.
Oh my God.
He's such a. We'll delete this. He's such a cocksucker. That's just all he is. He's saying because he said I'm a coward because I didn't respond, and the Boys and Girls Club of Norman will suffer this month. He's such a fucking little prick. Okay, I think I'm better now.
So we do need to talk about Eddie getting the stadium to play mini men.
How awesome was that? They had an entire video presentation. It was unbelievable.
I was waiting for them to show your video.
All the players loved it. It was perfect. It was perfect.
And they gave a little hint at the basketball game the other day, too.
Yeah, they were playing it on the basketball game.
Did the fans really get into it, though? Because it didn't feel like there was much of a pop.
There wasn't much of a pop.
You got to keep playing it, though.
I will admit that. I think, though, that it's time and place. And I think that, you had a big 3rd down and 1 coming up after that at the end of the fourth quarter. You need...
When you've assaulted a fan base with country music for the last 10 years, of course they're not going to get into mini men.
Yeah. I think now, though, that everybody knows what to expect, I'm going to believe in my brain that everybody just was taken aback because they actually did it.
Yeah.
And next week...
The players loved it.
The players loved it. Fabechi loved it. Taylor Wine was talking about it after the game. John Mateer was talking about it after the game. I was yelling in the background of the press conference. It was awesome. I don't know what's next.
People go to Spotify. It's 50 Cent, right?
Yeah. Maybe add the gunshots next week. They need to add the gunshots. Let's not get greedy, but they need to add the gunshots. Get the real feel of the song.
Yeah, I think OU fans just have to go and maybe, if you're listening to this pod, you don't care about little kids in the car and language.
No. Next week should be one of the better atmospheres that this town has seen. The game's going to end underneath the darkness. The sun will be down most of the game, I would say.
Was the crowd below or around or above your expectations today?
Maybe a little below.
Yeah.
And it's probably because of 2 3-and-outs to start.
Yeah, and I just think that,
and it was an 11 a.m. I think the 11 a.m.s are just tough to get.
And I just think that like it's kind of tough when you
dreary day.
Defensively, it's awesome, but it's just a slow game. It's kind of a, dare I say, like boring type of game.
Mm-hmm. The pop though.
There were moments.
The 87-yard touchdown run or pass, and then that whole sequence, because then I think they got like a sack on Pribula, made them punt, and got the ball back. That the crowd was electric.
They were definitely ready to boo. They booed the shit out of those guys today.
Oh man,
the referees.
Can't say they didn't deserve it.
The referees are so bad in the SEC. It's kind of
shocking.
Yes,
I really thought like. And it's the whole spiel, the whole SEC, just means more. If it just means more, get some damn better referees. I mean, you had to kick one out in the middle of the year because he was so bad. And the only real pass interference call I'd take issue with is the one against Guillory in Tennessee with the tight end just running into him. I don't really think they've screwed it up, but I would rather have it where it's more difficult to generate a PI than not. I don't want like flags thrown every time a guy touches someone. But man, the inconsistencies, it's just maddening.
Some of the PI calls today were weak. Like I think the one on I think it was Jacoby Johnson, where both guys, Jacoby Johnson and Eli Bowen,
that was pretty bad.
They both had PIs today that I was like, I just don't.
I don't know how many other leagues that would have been a PI in.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana.
And it was like, and then when OU had it, they threw a couple, and yes, they were, overthrown by Mateer, but like there's certainly some like impeding of trying to catch the football on some of those. I don't know.
What were penalties today?
OU had a lot. Here I have them right here. It was OU had. Why can I not find it now?
Sometimes I feel like they hide them in these box
in the
scores.
stats, yeah.
It was, I got it right here, 6 for 51, and OU had 7 for 80.
So God, it felt like a lot more than that.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
it just felt like there was always a penalty when OU was like gonna stop Missouri.
Yeah,
it felt like it kept their drives alive, and then they would still get it. They would like get a 3-and-out after.
Well, I think
that.
Jacoby Johnson's interception came after one of those penalties.
No, it was right after the Reggie Powers targeting.
Oh, was it?
Next
okay,
play.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's not been really that day in college football or anything. I mean, Georgia Tech is getting drilled by
the
Pitt.
ACC should not get a team. The ACC, Utah should have lost today.
Yeah, to a bad Kansas State team.
I mean, Kansas State.
Nobody's going to pour one out, but my guy T-Bag, I kind of wanted him to see a win happen this year for Oklahoma State, and it just didn't happen. Except for the one at the beginning of the season.
It's so bad, man. I know that we talked about this last week. It's just hard for me to fathom and wrap my head around the fact that OSU is going to go 2 years without winning a conference game. I mean, you think shit's been bad down here. It pales in comparison to what's happening up there.
I wonder if they can even get an Eric Morris.
I think you can.
I think that's a done deal.
Really?
Yeah, they are talking about 10, 11. Friday, they were talking about they think that 10, 11 days something will be announced.
I think it's Eric Morris for sure.
Okay. I think that's a good hire.
Yeah, that's a great hire for them.
I think that's a good hire. See if that quarterback comes with them and try to rebuild out of the portal. I mean, that's all you can do at this point.
That's going to take a lot of money.
Yeah. No, it is. It's going to take a shit ton of money.
Because you're going to have to overpay for guys if you want quality guys at Oklahoma State. But outside of that, Tennessee is just murdering Florida.
I'm very interested. I was telling Eddie, I am very interested if Vanderbilt beats Tennessee next week. Vanderbilt's going to be 10-2, And I don't know what the committee's going to do because I think a 10-2 Vanderbilt should probably be in.
Alabama better not lose to Auburn.
Yes, but then they better not lose to A&M in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
game. Would you let in a 10-3 Alabama over a 10-2 Vanderbilt? I guess Alabama did beat Vanderbilt, so yes, you probably would.
Yeah, they did.
And they don't penalize They usually don't penalize the conference champion loser. So never mind. That was a stupid point. But I do think that
realized it.
I do think like a 10-2 Vanderbilt should get in over. I don't know. Should they get in over a 10-2 Miami? That's played in arguably the worst Power 4 conference.
Yes, I would say.
I would
so.
think. I would think so.
But
they won't.
You know that committee's not going to give 6 SEC teams bids.
They should though. I think this conference.
Here's
this
the question.
Is one of the toughest conferences I can remember in my lifetime in terms of top to bottom parity.
I don't think you can even make an argument for Vanderbilt over Oklahoma because they've lost to Texas. They lost to Alabama. Who's their good wins?
They don't have a ton. That's the problem.
Yeah. Tennessee might be their best win then.
Yeah, Tennessee would be a good win. LSU they beat, and that's about it, right?
I think that's right.
I think I'm missing. I don't know. I thought Eddie was looking it up. He's doing something else.
No, I'm telling Jeff Ketchum. I'll
You
read
gotta
you
stop.
exactly
You
what
gotta stop feeding into him.
Well, I mean, he's going to call me a coward. The fact that this is what I just said to him.
He tried to have you murdered by stoning.
The fact that's true. I completely forgot about that. The fact that he can't just laugh about it. And yeah, that was a stupid prediction on my part. I don't expect him to pay $1,000. He's just a little bitch. It gets old putting him in a body bag over and over again.
Do you want me to donate $1,000 to the Boys and Girls Club?
No, I mean somebody needs to, but we don't. I mean, we're going to raise the money.
Just make him look like an asshole if I did.
He's just an ass.
Vanderbilt has not beat anybody, so I take.
So
it
there's
back.
no argument.
Yeah, but I mean, there is an argument that they should still get in.
But not over Oklahoma if they're 10-2.
Oh no! I think Oklahoma. They should host. I don't know if they will. I think that Oklahoma. You look at Oklahoma's resume. I think I saw today that they have beaten now the most ranked teams this season.
So let's say Georgia doesn't go to the SEC championship game.
They'll get a bye.
Did they get a bye?
Yeah,
you think?
they'll get a bye.
They won't host.
I don't think so. I think they'll be the 4 seed.
Yeah.
Maybe the 5 seed.
Talk about Georgia, not
the
going
only
to
team
the
that
SEC.
could maybe Texas Tech could jump them. But I don't think
know
the
what
committee
they do
would
with
do
Texas
that.
Tech.
What happens?
Texas Tech would play BYU
What's
again.
going to be
in the Big
very
12
interesting is
championship.
what does the
If
committee do
BYU
with
can
BYU
win?
wins.
It's 10-7 at half.
What does the committee do with BYU and Utah?
Thank them for coming out. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
I think one of them might get in.
The committee thinks a lot higher of Utah than I do. BYU, though, you go win at Cincinnati. You put up a fight in the Big 12 championship. I can be persuaded into letting BYU in because they have been very, very dominant in all of their wins.
Now, are we Indiana, Ohio State locked in for the Big Ten championship?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Ohio State has to beat Michigan.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if it doesn't happen this year.
Also, Oregon took care of Lincoln Riley today.
There will be no playoffs in the Mecca. They are close, but this year's not the year. And we feel bad for them. The girls are going to have the dad home a little bit more. He might start drinking a little bit more.
He might be in Tennessee.
Maybe headed to Tennessee, take the Titans job. I don't know. It is funny
nice
though.
Houses in Nashville.
They got beat exactly how you would think they would get beat today. It looked like, from what I could see, Oregon just ran them over.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not enough gas.
It was 7-0 early,
but they just wore them down and scored more. Maximized more possessions late in the game.
George, if we were looking, say everything stays for the most part status quo, are we still looking at Oregon, Notre Dame? Those are like two of the most likely.
I think they're going to play one of those two.
Could OU play Alabama at home?
Yeah, I mean, they could.
Would that be more of an 8-9?
That'd be an 8-9. And that's the thing. I don't know. Like Notre Dame won 70-7 today. Does the committee say that is an impressive win?
Oh, they will.
Rutgers, right?
They will. But
so Notre Dame could jump.
Or Syracuse.
Notre Dame could jump Oklahoma.
Ohio State.
The committee
Rutgers.
will say that, and in the back of every person's mind that's watching that will go, well, Syracuse fucking sucks.
Yeah, but they don't
I know.
care about that.
I know. And that's the problem.
And so it could flip-flop there. I'm also interested, like, what if, what could, like, where's Miami? Miami's the one that's very curious. I don't know where Miami's going to end up in the rankings. And
it's
also
almost
the
like
ACC champion.
Miami playing in the shitty ACC is helping Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. What is Miami's track to get into the ACC championship? We need to figure out what the ACC championship tiebreakers are.
Well, Georgia Tech's fucking things up right now. So
Okay.
you've got Virginia. I think Virginia would be the 1 seed right now because Duke lost.
Well, technically, Georgia Tech would have been the 1 seed.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They're down 35-14, so...
Okay,
They'll have
Virginia's
2
path to
losses.
the ACC championship. Beat Virginia Tech. I believe that is next week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
SMU loses to Louisville or Cal. Pitt loses to Georgia Tech or Miami. So we'll table that. Pittsburgh's ACC championship. Beat Georgia Tech and Miami, so they got to win out. So Pitt plays Miami next week.
Right.
And one of SMU or Virginia lost.
Which, by the way, if Miami wins that game, Notre Dame destroyed Pitt. Or if Pitt wins that game. I mean, how is this happening? The ACC is just...
It's bad.
It's bolstering that. It's bolstering Notre Dame by sucking.
I mean, if a 5-loss Duke team can still get to the ACC championship, for that scenario to unfold,
Oh my God.
Duke has to beat North Carolina, which they did today, so that's taken care of, and they have to beat Wake Forest next week. They would then need Pitt to beat Georgia Tech, which is happening, and lose to Miami, with Louisville beating SMU. That's on the table.
A possibility.
If Duke wins the ACC, they
Not
don't
a difficult
go, right?
parlay.
They won't go. They won't take them. Or will they?
If they won the ACC,
Yeah.
they could get left out. Yeah, if there are 2 group of 5 teams ranked ahead of them.
Oh, but it has to be group of 5?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's stupid. And they should change it right now. I don't know. It's going to be crazy. I think the only thing that we do know for a fact, Oklahoma, you're 4 quarters away and a win away over LSU from getting into the college football playoff. And Carey, I think that's sort of incredible to actually be able to say that with some validity behind it.
Introducing Meta Ray-Ban Display, the world's most advanced AI glasses. With a full color display built into the lens of the glasses, it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. Send and receive messages, translate or caption live conversations, collaborate with Meta AI, and more. Be one of the first to try Meta Ray-Ban Display. Visit meta.com/Meta Ray-Ban Display to book a demo and find your pair.
It should not be discounted. I mean, go out there and put your message board post about John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle, but have some perspective that this is something that we did not foresee going into the season. Let's face it, the season was 8-4, 9-3. Which one saves Brent Venables' jobs? He's surpassed all of that.
Yeah, 100%.
Got to win next week.
Sure.
But he's not getting fired if they don't, but they do need to win.
You got to go win next week.
Yeah, and LSU's a bad football team. They're winning now, aren't they?
They're
7-3.
When we started, it was 3-0.
They're showing ACC standings right there. I mean,
George, there's a chance that a 5-loss Duke team could get into the ACC
so it'll be Virginia,
championship.
SMU, Pittsburgh will all have 1 loss if Georgia Tech loses here.
Correct.
So, I mean, I should know this. Heather Dinich would be really ashamed of me.
Shout out Heather.
They have to put in the ACC champion?
We just talked about that.
If it's,
I had to go to the back. I almost peed my pants.
If somehow Duke won, which I don't even think they can, but and they were ranked, I believe this is it. If they're ranked below 2 group of 5 teams, the ACC would just get left out.
But But there's no way that Miami could get in and know the ACC champion not get in. That's my question. Like, would they be like, well, we think Miami's actually the best team in the ACC, even though they didn't win the championship?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they could. Another team in the ACC could be an at-large.
Right, but I'm saying like they would have to put them in with the ACC champion, right?
Not if the ACC champion was ranked below 2 Group of 5 teams. It would basically.
I see what you mean.
The ACC would get an.
But I thought it was they take the top
champion.
5 conference champions.
Except in that scenario,
Oh.
you can't actually be left out if you suck that bad in the rankings.
I just think that they need to, one thing, this is a conversation for another day, sometime in the offseason maybe. They need to you know how they fixed the seeding problem. Now they need to fix the problem where why are we giving a shit about like having a G5 team in? Like if a G5 team is not even ranked, what are we doing?
I think it's been kind of incredible to watch like that conversation. Like I know Will Compton made a statement about that this week, and people just turned it into this. Why are you trying to like marginalize these teams when let's be honest. Insert whatever G5 school, they're not going to win 4 games in a row. And I understand the argument. Well, they still need a spot at the table. Let's be real about this. It's a waste
of a space.
Tulsa is never going to win a national championship as it is right now. Like you're almost doing, I think, a disservice to those kids in telling them, yeah, we're going to go have a chance.
Although I'm trying to think, Utah wasn't in a power conference when Alex Smith was their quarterback, right?
No, they're in the Mountain West.
And that team went toe-to-toe with Alabama that year.
I don't have a problem putting a G5.
In one game, sure. Can they do it 3 weeks in a row or 4 weeks?
I don't have a problem putting a G5 team in the playoff. It's the concept that it's like in a year like this where it's pretty clear there's not one.
Yeah.
Like why are they getting in over a 10-2 Miami or a 10-2 Vanderbilt?
Sure.
Who has a much better chance of winning a playoff game or competing for a national title?
People won't want to hear this, but I'd even say a 9-3 Texas.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're playing pretty good football.
But
right now.
I mean, this is what I talk to you guys about all the time. Like, it's not just about like one thing. You have to placate all these other things that aren't really on the same level, or don't really have anything to do with what you do. But to make everything kumbaya and everyone live together, and not for there to be a revolt, sometimes you just have to let the peasants.
Let me ask you guys this before we sign off here and we're doing playoff talk. Who's the one team in the range of Oklahoma that you would like to see OU play
in the playoff?
Like that I think would be a good matchup.
A good matchup, yeah.
I mean, is it just
Notre Dame?
Yeah, is that?
I think it is Notre Dame.
The quick reaction, because I do think that like defensively they'd be able to put JJ McCarthy or not JJ McCarthy. Jesus
McCarthy.
Christ. I just went full Carey.
We gotta turn this pot off.
The Carr kid, what's his first name?
CJ Carr.
CJ Carr. I think they'd be able to put him in some spots. I just don't know. It's like the defensive thing. It scares you.
But with Love, I mean, I'd take my chances there with what we saw of them with Hardy today.
Yep. I think it'd be a really close game. I'm watching Oregon today. I don't know if Oklahoma wants to play Oregon. I think Oklahoma could beat Alabama again.
Yeah, Oregon's one of those teams that might be able to outscore you.
I think any of them are going to be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be an incredible month and lead up and build up. And I think just like having that moment that OU fans, I would hope, are able to breathe a little bit and say, what a fucking season. Like they went out and they did what I think a lot of people didn't think were going to be.
Got to win next week.
Would it be possible? All of it comes with that.
I feel like we're like already concluded that they're going to make the playoff, and it's been a great season.
We're not on the team, George.
I know. I'm just saying they got to go win next week.
I was guarded all morning. Like there's so many people walking over to the stadium this morning were asking me what I thought was going to happen, and I thought OU was going to play well, but at the same time, I think that there still is a little bit of that scar tissue there that we've seen some real bad shit go down, and especially at home lately.
Well, it's not. This has not been a program the last few years where you can, predict exactly how a game is going to play out. But I think I even said it this week. Like, I thought this game would kind of go like it did, which you're going to have two really good defenses on the team, and one team's just going to make more big plays on offense than the other. And it was basically one big play, the Satania. So
crazy. Like, if you would just have shown me the box scores, like the offensive box scores from the past 3 games,
and not the final scores,
I would have said, well, how many did they get beat by? But ultimately,
it has not been conventional.
When you're that bad offensively, you don't turn the ball over. You give yourself a chance, and especially with this defense. What a day!
Round 12 coming up next week.
It's crazy.
LSU coming to town.
George said it on the Instant Reaction, but it's wild to think that this is the final regular season game. It really is. It flies by every year.
It's put years on my life. All right, that's going to do it. Unless you guys have any final thoughts.
No, I don't think so. It's just one of those things that there's a little bit more.
He never wants to end the pod. He never wants the pod to end.
It's like, I don't have anything else to say, but
there's just a little bit more hope.
I love it.
And
George.
You know what? You can't. Can this team win a national championship? I don't know, but they have a chance. And there's going to be probably 25-something teams that still have a chance next week, and after that, it'll get cut to 12. And you just got to survive in advance.
I'm gonna say this right now. It won't be a drunk pod, but I feel like we need to have some beers next week for the post-game pod.
We can do that.
If they win.
Yes.
We'll be having a lot of beers if they lose.
Then it'll be a drunk pod.
It will be a full-on. I might get a room at the Noun if they do, if they lose.
I don't think you want to get a room at the Noun on a night where the OU played a football game.
I'll just go sleep on Will and Ellie's floor.
All right, that's going to do it. George, you can get home to Finn and Scoops and the wife.
It is my wife's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday,
Aaron.
Shout out.
Are you rushing to a big dinner?
No, but I would like to get home to see her.
So, Eddie, please stop.
Yes.
Well, I'm driving him, so.
He is driving me.
Oh, wow, okay.
She went to the game today. We celebrated earlier this week because she knows how game day is. But
we got to meet George's Price is Right buddies.
They did stop by. They were very drunk. And they will be listening to this podcast. They're a good time. They're a great time, but I had to usher them out because I was like, hey, we have stuff to do. We can't sit here and chat and hang out.
It was good meeting them. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks to Eskridge Lexus. We'll be back again. We've got more of these to come. We don't know how many, but next week will probably not be the last podcast that we'll be doing in regards to OU and still being alive for a national championship. That's going to do it for this week's edition. We'll be back again next week for another edition of the Eskridge Lexus postgame podcast on Soonerscoop.com.